Today, for your listening and viewing pleasure, I got X-Men 2 Clone Wars on the Sega Genesis. And this is the full Lincoln, guys. This is like 2 hours long. And, you know, when I'm doing the full Lincoln, I like to bring on my friend. Say hi, Izzy.
Hello, boys. I think I'm more than a friend.
Yeah.
You're married. With benefits, with a lot of benefits.
Yeah, she's very beneficial. So she passes time. That's one of the reasons I allow her to, you know.
Allow. I love you too.
That's why we're married. Because I can stand her for long periods of time. So yeah, so that's the thing. Okay, so you see, like, I just started this game. This game, it just throws you in. You don't get to pick your character. It picks a random one for you. And you start this first level here. I swear, on some ROMs, you can die on this first level. And it'll let you, it'll just warp you to the second level. You'll just lose one life. But for whatever reason on this ROM here, it won't let you do that. You have to beat the first level. And this game is so long that I am fine just dying and skipping this level. There's actually a password you can find online that's pretty easy to input, and you can input it at any time. And it'll allow you to press, I think it's like you hold start or select. Oh shit, man, this is Sega Genesis. There ain't nobody holding select. But
is that where you have that wand thingy?
Oh yeah, I had a wand. We can talk about the wand later. But check out this music. I love this music on this section right here. It's really good. And it sounds English, like this game was made in Britain. I can tell when games are British. They just have a different sound to them. I don't know that if British dudes made this game or not. Typically, British dudes don't do as good a job with gameplay as Japanese dudes, but they do a better job with the music.
That makes sense.
But yeah, there's no Game Genie codes to practice this game, but there's two cheat codes. One cheat code lets you warp through levels, which is really useful because you need to warp to the end to practice on levels. Because you don't want to be going through this whole game just to practice on one level. It's too long. And then there's another cheat code that lets you pick what character you want, which is really useful too, because different characters are better on certain levels on this game. All the characters are viable, except for Beast and Magneto. But Psylocke, Gambit, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, they're all useful. But yeah, so
I was curious about.
Yeah, those are all the characters you can use in this game.
Normally, they would just give you a random character, and you have to figure out how to beat the level with the character that you were given.
Well, I don't know about usually, but in this game, you can pick your character at the beginning of every level. But there's so many levels that I don't remember what level I'm on. So I'll pick the wrong character, and then you're stuck and you're gonna die. Like, oh man, I picked Cyclops and this is a Wolverine level. So I actually wrote down like a list of what character to use on every level. And when I was playing through this game for the clear, I would just look at my list. Okay, now I'm on level 7. So I need to pick, I made it, my list is in here. And I actually have like a notepad I've been using for video games lately. Like I was playing a dungeon crawler, Shining Force 1, and I had a lot of fun making notes. Now I'm playing Fire Emblem, and I just started using using notes on games for shit. It's kind of fun using paper and pencil. I used to never want to do that. I thought a game sucked if you had to break out the paper and the pencil. Okay, here it is. Yeah, here's my X-Men 2 Clone Wars notepad I have. I have the level skip cheat in here, which is pause, left plus X, up, left, down, right X. And then you can hit pause after you input the code and press right and X to skip a level. or press left and X to change character. But yeah, I just wrote down all the levels. I got 22 levels in this game, and I named them. The first one's Siberia. The second level that we're on now is I guess we're on the third level now. The Sentinel Factory. The fourth level's the Sentinel Factory boss. And then next to it, I would write what character to use. So this level here is easy. So you can pick any character you want. And I picked Gambit here because he's not the optimum character to use, but there's very few levels in this game where Gambit's viable. He's probably the weakest out of the usable characters. But I love Gambit. I just think he's cool. In the comics, his writing isn't very good. He usually says something stupid, and then he like covers it up with style, mon ami, or he says something Creole French that makes you think he's cool when you're like 8 years old. But as a grown man, what, you know French? Oh, my wife, she sprekens the French.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, we need to work on your...
Say something sexy in French.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
What? That's in that movie. That's in that
It is.
that homo movie.
It is not a homo movie. It is Moulin Rouge. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
What's it mean?
Would you like to come home with me tonight?
Oh my God! I mean, tone it down, okay?
You said say something
This isn't a very PG channel, but all right, say whatever you want. So I say whatever I want.
But if you want me to say something like mon ami, it's mon ami. You have
Mon ami. What's that mean?
my friend.
My friend. Okay, yeah. Gambit says stuff like that.
They
Okay.
also say share a lot in Louisiana. It's a thing. I can't remember.
Share is like
Share. It's like
like
friendly. It's just like, come on, share.
bud or
Butter.
like bud, like hey, what's up, bud,
Yeah.
or my dude, or
It's like
or
friend.
share.
Yeah, share. It's like, come on, share.
Okay. Yeah, he says share. When I say it, it sounds different than when Izzy
Yeah.
says it.
Yeah. Well, the way you translated, I was like, butter, what?
Mwah. So you see, Gambit, he has a projectile. Him and Cyclops have projectiles, and Magneto does, but Magneto's useless. We don't want to talk about him. I like him too, and he looks hella cool, but he's so slow and so big, he's just not usable in this game. But yeah, so Gambit has a projectile, and so does Cyclops, but in every level where you need a projectile, Cyclops is the better option. His projectile, it comes out quicker. It has fewer frames for it to come out, and it has less recovery frames. So it's just a better weapon. But Gambit does have that jumping kick attack, which he can use to kind of dash through the level. It's like an air dash attack, which Cyclops doesn't have. But Gambit also has that stick for a melee, and you would think his stick would give him extra reach, but it's actually less useful than Cyclops' stupid punch he does. Like, the punch looks dumb, but it's actually effective. It comes out quick, and I don't know, it just works better than Gambit's stick. So here is one of the few instances where Nightcrawler's teleportation is actually useful. Nightcrawler has that teleport, which gives him invincibility frames, which is useful here, and then there's one other spot in the game I use it, but other than that, his mutant ability is useless. And Nightcrawler and Wolverine are like, any level where you can use Nightcrawler is also a level where you could use Wolverine. They're very similar in how they handle stuff in this game. They both have air dashes. The thing is Wolverine is more useful than Nightcrawler, so you basically don't need Nightcrawler, but he is cool. I always like Nightcrawler. He's like he's German, and I think he's like a devout Christian. He's always going on like God bothering and whatnot, but he's just an interesting character. But he looks like a demon, so he's like a Christian dude that looks like a demon, which is, I don't know, it's just an interesting character. And I think his art design's really good. But yeah, I was saying his mutant power isn't useful, whereas Wolverine's is the most useful in the game. When you hit Wolverine's mutant power, he just does this dash attack, which will one hit kill most enemies. So when his health is, like you see on the bottom left, your health is red. when it gets into the yellow, like if you get enough health that their health is yellow, like the top 2 health indicators are yellow. If you can get one of those, every character, their mutant ability is more powerful. But Nightcrawler's mutant ability is useless even when it's more powerful, whereas Wolverine's just one-hit kills people. So yeah, X-Men. What you know about X-Men, Izzy?
I've learned all of my X-Men knowledge from you and movies. Mostly movies first, and then you come and tell me the correct what actually happened and where this came from and all this other stuff. And it's actually kind of confusing because some of the X-Men movies I have seen are contradictory, and I'm just like, what exactly does that mean, and how does that work? Like, in one particular movie, which was very good, I think it was The Dark Phoenix? I don't remember. They killed Mystique. I was like, what do you mean? What? You can't kill Mystique? Like, what are you talking about? So I was very upset, because I really do like Mystique's character. And then...
Yeah, she's a very interesting character in the comics as well as in the movies. But I'll tell you who's more interesting. It's that Psylocke booty, my dudes. In every game with Psylocke in it, like when I was a kid, man, I'd like pause and do every move in the game she has and then pause it to see all of her frames of animation so I could check out booty. I know you guys did it too. Don't tell me you didn't pause with Chun-Li to check out some booty. So in this game...
Chun-Li's from Street Fighter. This game.
They know who Chun-Li is.
So do I.
They know who Chun-Li is. I know who. So I've... Just a thing to like point out is I've always tried to get Izzy to dress up as Psylocke for Halloween. I've yet to be able to get her to do it. She could pull it off. She has the same skin tone. She has the same body type. You don't think so?
No. But I enjoy the compliment.
The same hair. I've always like, I seen it. I'm like, man, I could get her to dress up as Psylocke. That'd be like a little fantasy I could check off the list. Now this Halloween, come on. No, she's shaking her head. She ain't gonna do it.
No.
But yeah, so I choose Psylocke in this level. Psylocke, I'd like to play through this game some more with Psylocke. She's fun to use. She bounces off walls. So does Beast, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler, which is very useful. You can get to health bonuses in this game if you can bounce off walls. And she has the sword, which is actually the most useful melee attack in this game. You would think Gambit's works, but his just doesn't seem to work. Whereas Psylocke's sword, like it has more distance than everyone else's, and it comes out quick. It just works very well. And I mean, who doesn't like a sword in a video game? If you got a guy that punches like Cyclops, and then you got like a ninja with a sword, come on, who are you gonna pick? But yeah, so Psylocke, she's odd. Like Gambit and Cyclops are interchangeable. Levels that you can use Cyclops, you could also use Gambit. And the same can be said for Wolverine and Nightcrawler. But Psylocke, she's not that. She's not like that. She's just kind of like outside that. She just works differently. You know, her psychic knife, her mutant power isn't useless. It is usable, especially when you get it fully powered up. Has extra range and damage, but it comes out slow. And it is difficult to use, like the timing on it. The startup frames on it, there's a lot of them. So you have to hit it like preemptively, anticipating that the enemy's gonna attack, because it takes so long for it to come out. Like right there, you saw me hit it too slow, and the enemy's attack came and hit me. Yeah, she's cool. I like Psylocke in any game that has Psylocke. I say any game. The only other game I know that she's in is XMen Mutant Apocalypse on the Super Nintendo, which is also an excellent game. So you've seen me play X-Men games before, right? Do you remember any of them, Izzy?
No.
Or you just know that I play them?
I know that you play them, and they all look the same to me. I'm terrible. I mean, I notice that there's different levels, and I see that, but I don't...
Do you notice me screaming more with any of them?
I have to think about it.
Probably not, because they're not screamer games.
No.
Like Street Fighter or Battletoads.
I was going to say Street Fighter for sure. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Battletoads, maybe in the beginning. Now you have that one locked down, so you're fine.
I still be screaming on some Battletoads. I get pissed.
True.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this game. Yeah, this game isn't hard. It's just long as fuck is the thing. It's too long. It's an hour and 45 minutes for the playthrough. You know, but it is beautiful. Like, look at this level. You have the planet in the background. The sprite animation is great. So I don't really mind how long it is. I don't mind spending time on it and just kind of sitting in this X-Men world. I got a thing for X-Men. I've read the comics as a kid. Even as an adult, I still read them. Seen all the movies. I had the toys as a kid. I'm all in on. What's that? I have an X-Men board game that I can. It's called, what is it? X-Men Alert. This board game from the 90s, and it came with all these figurines in it. There's like I don't know, like 20 figurines, and they're all the characters you can play as. And I took them all out and painted them like they were. What is that? These books I read, Warcraft, not Warcraft. No. What are those books Gabe and me read? Warhammer.
There you go.
It's like Warhammer where there's all the figurines and I painted them all. So yeah, I'm all in on. Okay, so this guy right here, you can kill him with 2 psychic knives, or you can kill him with Wolverine's attack with 2 hits as well. Oh, shit, it took 3. Whatever. So if you have your full power up into the yellow, that guy's easy. If you don't, he's hard. Yeah, having full power with Cyclops, Wolverine, or Psylocke is very useful because their mutant powers are all very, very practical. Yeah, on this falling level, you want an enemy that shoots so that you can shoot those levers to make the floor drop. And then once you shoot, you're going to want to jump up. And that'll give you more space to be able to maneuver without hitting these things. This level's easy. Like I said, the whole game is actually easy. It's a total memorizer. Every single level in this game, all the enemies are in the same spot every single time. There's no randomness at all. It's completely predictable. So once you memorize it, it's pretty easy. The difficulty is just in how much of it is there. And like nowadays, that's annoying that a game's an hour and 45 minutes. I typically like short arcade games that are like 20-minute playthroughs, like Altered Beast. But if you think about it, back in the day, like I remember I got this game, I don't know for Christmas or my birthday or what, but for one of those, I got this game. And I loved it because it was so long. It took like I never beat it because it was so damn long. I just got further and further, and as a kid I was like, damn, this game just keeps going. And that was actually a strength of games back then, is how long they were, because you might only have one game to play for like 6 months, and you didn't want a 20-minute game like Altered Beast. You could figure out and beat in a weekend, and that's it. And that's another thing. Okay, this is the other part in the game where Nightcrawler's teleportation invincibility frames is useful. You just hit his teleport and the attack goes right through you. This guy I always thought was cool looking, Exodus.
They have interesting names.
Exodus?
It means to exit. So I'm like...
I think it was a reference to the Bible because he follows Magneto religiously. He's like... They worship Magneto like he's a god. And this is so on this stage in the game, you're at Magneto's hideout, whatever, on Asteroid M, which is an asteroid circling Earth.
It's like, I just feel like if we're going to go for a Bible name, like Leviticus would work a little better than Exodus. Because Exodus means to exit. It was actually in the book of the Bible to exit out of Egypt. And I'm like, but he follows Magneto religiously, unless the character itself would be exiting Magneto's, I don't know, the group, like not follow Magneto anymore and create
he'd be
his
following
own.
that Magneto.
But that's my point, though. Unless it was a foreshadowing of him not following Magneto anymore, like that would make sense. But the fact that his name's Exodus and it's like, oh, it's just odd to me. But then again, I know the Bible, so yeah. In case you didn't know.
I know the Bible. Don't act like I don't know Bibles.
I was talking to the audience, dude.
Oh, so this level here, it's super easy. And you just got to get the Magneto. And I thought this is cool. Like, you got to fight Magneto in this little mini level before you can get him as a character that's playable. I'd like to get through this game just with Magneto. He's so cool looking. He is powerful, but he's just so slow and cumbersome. I can't find out how to use him. I've tried on levels. I try to use every character in this game for you guys. Like, I use Magneto on one part just to show off, like, what they can do. And that's something I like to do in X-Men games. I like to try to use every character and actually figure out their strengths and weaknesses and what levels you can use them in. And that's something that, like, the good X-Men comics did. Like, back in the day in the 80s, the Chris Claremont comics were all about how the team would work together to overcome some adversary. Like, every comic was, okay, Colossus is gonna throw Wolverine and he's gonna slice this guy up, and Storm's gonna create some kind of wind problem for the enemy to deal with that'll bring them down, and they all would work together as a team. And I think a lot of these 90s X-Men games kind of capture that spirit. They give the characters different attributes and they are better suited for different levels. And I actually feel like the X-Men video games that came out when we were kids, the 2 on the Sega Genesis, the 1 on the Super Nintendo, and the arcade game. Oh, and also the X-Men versus, or what is it, Spider-Man and X-Men on the Super Nintendo. I feel all of those are excellent games. I loved them as a kid and I still love them as an adult. It's funny, I was listening to MLig today in My Life in Gaming, and they were doing their 2022 games we beat this year, and I think it's Corey, not Triforce, the other guy, the bald dude. He was saying how he felt bad because all the X-Men games sucked back then. He said the 2 on the Sega Genesis weren't any good. I disagree. I thought they were great. They fit the comics, the 2 Sega Genesis games. They look and feel like 1990s X-Men. Yeah, I got no problem with them.
Costumes are always very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this dude's wearing his underwear on the outside of his pants. I mean,
everybody does. It's either the women are in leotards or the men wear their underwear on the outside of their pants. I'm actually more talking about like the brightness of the colors.
Like yellow and blue for Wolverine.
Yeah. And then everybody, they do have some interesting costumes. And then in the movies, like, they have these great big yellow suits. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys look like bananas.
They have yellow suits in the movies?
In one of them. I remember. It was...
was that Days of Future Past, maybe?
So, I was going to say, I think it was definitely with James McAvoy. It was one of the other, like, the second ones. It wasn't the very first ones. And it definitely wasn't the Dark Phoenix, because I remember I liked that. And I did not like the Dark Phoenix. But yeah, I remember the costume, and I'm like, what are you wearing?
I liked all of the movies. Like, none of them... I think Days of Future Past is my favorite.
Same.
But I feel all of the movies are good. Like, the X-Men property has been fun to grow up with. It was good when I was a kid. It's still good now. There's lots of good comics. There's some bad ones. The movies are good. The games are good. It's just been a property I've really enjoyed my whole life. Izzy's really into movies. Have you seen all of the X-Men movies?
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen all of, like, the Wolverines. I think the only one I haven't seen is Logan. And I'm not sure.
You haven't seen Logan? That's a good movie.
I know. It's like, I'm just not sure if I'm, like, ready for all that sadness.
It's
a lot. It's emotional. It's the death of Wolverine, and I really liked Hugh Jackman in that role. And it's just like, I'm not gonna... I have to be very careful with my movies. I don't have a lot of time to watch movies.
Yeah, I got something in my eye when I was watching it with my son, and I had to rub it. And then it looked like I was crying. but I just let Gabe know, like, hey, I didn't cry. I've just got something in my eye.
Which is code, probably, for crying.
No, I'm a grown man crying on no moopy.
Yeah.
I just got something in my eye. I was just explaining that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be ready. You know, you guys
Get
watch.
things in your eyes when you watch this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Let's leave it at that. Oh, it's a good time. Good time for. Oh, hey, on this level, guys, you want to pick someone that's fast. Like Psylocke's really good too on this level. Her sword attack beats these guys out pretty good. Whatever. I mean, this is the kind of game you don't need a lot of strats. Like, you can watch me play it, but you just put that code in and you just practice levels over and over again, and you'll figure it out. You get 7 lives to go through the whole thing. But yeah, hey, Izzy, let's do quiz time. Let's do Izzy quiz. So, you know, I'm thinking, what the fuck am I gonna quiz Izzy about on X-Men? She don't know about X-Men except from the movies. So if I pick some movie X-Men stuff, you know, I feel
know a little more. I did read one of the Wolverine comics that you gave me.
Which one did you read?
His origin story.
Oh, the Weapon X.
Yeah.
That's a badass comic, guys. If you get a chance, Weapon X by Barry Windsor Smith. Fucking gorgeous comic. It's the origin of Wolverine, the Weapon X story. That's a damn. If you're just into, I don't know, anything, movies or books, like, you'll like it. I like comics, so I mean, I was just reading a comic earlier today. I recently found out that I can read comics online. You don't even need to download them, and I just read them online on this website for free. Any DC, Image, Marvel comic, it's just on there, scanned in there, and I read them on my projector. This 100-inch projector I have is fucking awesome. But yeah, okay, Izzy quiz time.
Yes.
What is Cyclops' real name? Scott what?
I don't remember. Just remember Scott.
What is Scott Summers? I'll give you that.
I was going to say, it's got something. I don't remember the last name at all.
I gotta say, I'm impressed. I didn't think you were gonna get that shit. What's Wolverine's real name?
I just said it, Logan.
Fuck. I mean, that's kind of obvious. They made a movie called Logan. Oh, what's Charles... What's... Oh, fuck, I fucked that
It's
up.
Charles Xavier. His name is Professor X. And Magneto's name is Eric.
I didn't think she was gonna get these.
Come on. I'm the memory stick.
Oh, shit. What... His real name... That's not real. That's in movies. That's in movies. That's not real.
Well,
That's...
then why'd you ask me?
His real name is Sean Connery, Patrick Swayze, Patrick Stewart. One of those.
Which movie are we talking about? Because it's James McAvoy, who's from Scotland. He plays young Xavier, and that's how I distinguish them. Or there's Patrick Stewart, who plays
who's
old Xavier.
this is my channel. I beat this game. Who's showing? I'm showing off. Don't be showing off. You flexing.
Me. Yeah.
You over here feeling yourself with your answers because you got 3 of them right.
Feeling myself.
Yeah, you like got 3 answers right, and now you're showing off. I didn't ask you about young Xavier. You like know this dude,
asked me about...
James Micmac. But we're
you said
talking
Sean
about
Connery, and I'm like, what?
I was working up to it.
Well, we're talking about James McAvoy from Scotland, where Sean Connery is from Scotland. Or we talking about Patrick Stewart, who's from England, and I'm like, is that how your mind works? Are you talking about the Scottish man who played?
No, I was talking about the old man.
Who's James McAvoy?
I
The
just
old
knew
man
he
is
was
Patrick
old.
Stewart. You should know that. Come on.
That might have been my fault.
Yeah, come on.
All right, you get all the points in the world. You win. You win.
More quizzes. Come on.
That's all I wrote down. I was like, fuck, she doesn't know about the comics. I know about the comics. I actually know about this comic. This is, okay, so this video game, X-Men 2 Clone Wars, is based off of the Phalanx Covenant, I believe it's called. 1990... Shit, I was like 11 when it came out. So like 1994, it came out, Phalanx Covenant. It's right about when I was getting out of comics. And comics sucked balls back then, guys. Like, that was a really bad time for comics.
I have questions.
I picked Magneto for you guys here, just this is one spot I know you can use them.
Why, if it's something bad, you suck balls, but every man likes...
Are you stuck? I'm trying to talk about Magneto. I'm trying to talk about comics, and you stuck on the ball sack.
I'm really curious.
About ball sack.
Why it's a negative term when every man seems to enjoy that act.
I don't know why things are the way they are. That's what you say. It sucks balls. Like, haven't you seen AVGN?
Yes, but I also
This
don't
sucks
understand.
balls.
Yes, so I don't understand why swinging tits are good because that hurts.
Well, if they're like African swinging tits from like the Discovery Channel, those aren't good.
All swinging tits hurt, baby.
It just tell me it don't sound funny. Like that's swinging tits. It sounds happy.
Sounds awful. Sounds awful. Because I'm like, I have swinging tits.
You
they
know,
swing and I don't like it.
I don't hear too many chicks say swinging tits. It's kind of
we
like
know it's uncomfortable. We're like, why would you say it's like saying walking on broken glass.
It's probably not PC anymore. Just walking on broken glass. Is it that bad? Do they hurt when they? I don't know if I want. You know what? I don't want to know. I just want to enjoy my ignorance about swinging tits. Like I just imagine it as a happy thing. And now you're ruining it for me. Every time I see swinging tits. Okay, look. So if I'm watching this is why. This is why.
Do you watch swinging tits?
When you're watching a movie and you see a chick running and her tits are like swinging, it makes you feel good inside. It gives you a warm and fuzzy feeling, like ice cream on a hot day, or like snow on Christmas. It's like swinging tits, but like sucking balls. It's not the same. It's not good. It's not rocking.
I can
it's
tell you
not
when running in this one movie.
Yeah. I
was like, I'm glad they put this in here. So when you're running, you actually want to hold them because they swing so much, and that's why you have such tight sport bras, because you don't want them swinging everywhere, at least if they're on the bigger side. I have them that big. But my point is that you don't like them going all over the place. Now, you learn to get used to it because it's like, that's what you got, right? Now, in this one movie, I loved it. It was called Switch with, oh gosh, I can't even remember the names right now. Jimmy Smits for sure, and Ellen Barkin, I think that's her name. And it's where a guy gets put into a woman's body, and he's like this huge misogynist, and he has to, in order to get into heaven, he has to find a woman who likes him. Well, he's a guy, he works out, so as a woman, he just continues with the same routine, and he's running, and he has to hold his breasts because they're all over the place. And he's a guy, so he hasn't figured out that you buy a sports bra yet, and every guy comes up to him and starts like, hi. And he's like, elbows him and like knocks him off the running path because it's like, F off, I'm running, go away. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you feel like. You want to just hold your breasts because they're flopping all over the place, and you don't want a guy coming up and you going like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, I'm running here, go away. This is not the time.
That's why you don't hit on chicks at the gym. It's just a goofy spot to hit on chicks.
It is.
Gyms are weird. I don't even go to them anymore since COVID. Like, everybody's like peacocking around, but you don't talk to nobody. Well, I mean, I just know when I visually see swinging tits, it makes me feel good. But I'm hearing from you that it maybe doesn't feel so good to actually be the tit swinger.
No.
But that's their problem.
You mean my problem?
Well, it ain't my problem, I tell you that. Like, it's good times for me when them tits are swinging. Okay, we need to talk about X-Men here. I was talking about the comics. This comic, X-Men Phalanx Covenant. I actually went back and read it just recently because I beat this game and I wanted to talk about it on this video, but the comic kind of sucks. I mean, here's the thing. X-Men Phalanx Covenant takes place in X-Men comics, Uncanny X-Men comics, X-Factor, X-Force, and Cable. And all of those comics have different writers and artists. So it'd be like a movie where they had different directors and actors come in like 5 fucking times in the movie. Yeah, it's the tone.
It only worked in that one movie. The Dante's Inferno, that was like an anime that made sense because he went to multiple levels of hell, and by descending each level, it changed him. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And they brought...
Well, there's anthology movies, like, what is it? There's like Halloweens or... Matrix, Animatrix, anthology movies work with that. But anyways, it doesn't work in comics. They used to do this in comics because they figured, hey, if you like X-Men, but you're not reading Excalibur, we'll make you read Excalibur if you want to get the storyline. But it was just so jarring. When it went to the X Factor comics, there's this guy Jay Lee doing the art, and he's just fucking amazing. And the art is more adult, the writing is more adult. And then it would go back to an X-Force comic that is just super cheesy kid comics. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Now I'm reading a little kid comic. So the comics aren't good. The sci-fi premise is interesting, though. It's this alien creature that... fuck, I can't even explain it, but it's so convoluted in the comics. It basically can clone people. It's like a techno-organic thing. It's like a computer that can clone a person by just replicating itself mechanically. So you have all of... Yeah. So people don't like... Certain characters get cloned and they act like the other character, and so no one's trusting anybody. They don't know who's a clone and who isn't. But this techno-organic creature is really beautiful. Like certain characters, Forge, for instance, in the comics, he can see machines like with a sixth sense, and he really understands machines. And when he sees the phalanx creature, like when he sees somebody, he knows it's a clone because he just has this sixth sense for machines. And he starts weeping because he has a religious moment, like, damn, this thing is amazing, it's beautiful. And certain phalanx clones aren't evil, they try to help people out, but most of them are bad guys. So there's some gray area, and it's just interesting. And then some of the characters don't know what to do with the phalanx. They need to destroy it, but they feel bad because it's this new creature that spawned. And they're like thinking, hey...
Is it more of a machine, or is it more of a sentient being?
It's totally sentient. It's like the Borg. It's very similar to the Borg in Star Trek, where it copies people and replicates and takes over their bodies.
Therefore taking over maybe their emotions or their thoughts?
It joins with them, so they're no longer themselves anymore. They're themselves, plus they're part of this hive mind. And the phalanx is a hive mind. Every body part, every human that gets cloned or mutant that gets cloned in the phalanx, like say they clone Wolverine. Now he's a clone and he's connected to the phalanx, and they all communicate as if they're one entity and psychically read each other's minds.
They're bees.
They're like bees. And there's some interesting sci-fi Star Trek stuff going on in the comic. But yeah, it just, the dialogue is so bad and it's not very good. But it does make for an interesting video game. You needed some kind of premise. Oh man, this level here. I hate this level. This is like, if I play through this game again, I will skip this level with the cheat code. Next time I play through this game, I'm using the cheat code. It's so long and boring.
I was just noticing it was pretty.
You think so?
Well, I like the organic, kind of the planetary. Like, it's in a swamp. It looks like it's in a swamp/forest. It's cool. It's different than all the rest of the levels, and they're very spaceship. Like, they're on metal. They're on buildings. They're not... It's not like out in nature. And I just thought that was a vast difference. And I was like, oh, look, greenery. It's nice.
Yeah, it is. They do vary the levels nicely in this game. And it is cool what they did, but this level is so fucking boring. And it's tedious. So this is the thing. Like I told you that I told you guys the amount of time this game takes is really its chief difficulty. But you can see here that also the fucking camera is your enemy in this game. Like, you can't just drop down because you don't know what's below you if one of those bombs is going to blow up. So you have to hold the down button to pan the camera down. And you're constantly trying to move the camera around so that you can see what's coming up next. And that difficulty really rears its ugly head in this part of the game. I actually went online to see if somebody did a ROM hack of this game where they changed the camera. Like, I've seen games that do that, where they correct the camera so that it just works better. There's a Super Nintendo game where you're on a skateboard that somebody did a ROM hack where it just fixes the camera so the game's more playable. But no one had done that. There's no ROM hacks for this game, really. It's not a very popular game.
I would have thought it would be, considering the movies.
The movies?
Yeah, the movies were like a huge thing.
They weren't out at this point. This game came out.
No, I'm surprised there hasn't been
a ROM hack?
Well, a reinsurgence of people playing this game, and, you know, because it's like, I don't remember kind of when it started or what movie it started with, but there has been a huge influx of superhero movies, and it's like the new thing for the past over 10 years. It's been all about superheroes and different types of superheroes. So we have everything from, you know, the Batman, Superman to the Avengers, and now we have the X-Men, and I'm just surprised that with marketing they didn't, like, bring this back in some way. But maybe, I don't know.
No, nobody likes this game but me.
Yeah.
And super casuals like this game too, because you can fire it up and pick any X-Men and it's pretty looking. But I feel like people that actually get into beating games, they usually steer away from this, probably because of the camera and because how long it is. But yeah, hold my beer. I gotta go take a piss.
Really?
Say things, entertain the boys. Don't talk about me. I can hear you.
Oh, maybe I will. Maybe I will talk about him. Let's see. What could I entertain you guys with? You'll have to leave comments. I'm going to ask questions. Tell us what your favorite X-Men movie was. What your favorite game was. How many games are there, by the way? I'll have to ask Reg when he gets back. Let's see. I think the little creatures are very interesting. Are the creatures dangerous?
Hell yeah, they're dangerous. This is the 80s. Everything's dangerous.
Like that little guy.
It will fucking kill you. This ain't like one of them Zoomer games. Back in the day, you had to be a tiger to beat these games. You had to be a badass. Everything will kill you. And this is a no death run, guys. I don't die once. And that wasn't on, like, intentionally. It's just because I can't help myself. I'm that badass. By the way, I got, like, a poor man's cooler here. Tell them about my cooler with my beer in it. What is it? Tell them what it is.
It's a jacket wrapped in a towel. Or no, is it just multiple towels? I thought it was a jacket.
If you wrap your beer in towels, dudes, it'll stay cold for, like, an hour or two. You don't need a cooler. Just wrap that shit up in some towels.
Do you like how he says cooler instead of...
Say artichoke.
Artichoke.
Oh, she's been practicing. She usually says artichoke.
It's true. I did have a pronunciation issue with that word because the person that I grew up with usually said artichoke.
Excuses.
No,
Ha!
it's not an excuse. It's a fact.
I like
What's
my
beer
cap pops off like a mad ejaculation. Fills me with joy.
Are we gonna
Smells good too. Actually, it stinks.
No, it smells like a skunk.
Yeah, because it's German. No, I don't mean Germans smell like skunks. I just mean their beer smells skunky. Heineken, it smells like a skunk. What are you drinking over there? You think your beer don't stink?
I don't drink beer.
What, you saying you better than us?
No.
You over there fucking wafting the bouquet? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking wine. Drinking wine. It's a Cabernet.
Is it Cabernet? What Cabernet? I'm drinking Stella Artois.
Artois.
What? Actually,
Actually, it's German, so it's probably not pronounced that way. I'm pronouncing it French.
I think it's Italian. That ain't German, is it? Is that German?
That's... Looks like French.
A trois. A Troyes. It says a Troyes on it.
That's an accent grave for that. La bière fin de luxe.
Man,
It's French.
Man, this shit Italian.
It's French.
You think it's French? You think you just said that? I'm sorry. Look, I never do that.
Never do what?
Look, it's brewed in the America in St. Louis. Why is this shit in fucking foreign if it's made in America? I know 13.6. That's some old shit. You know, they say in America, they think it's like 200 years is a long time. And in Europe, they think 200 miles is a long ways. That's some deep shit for you boys. Fucking contemplate that. Oh, yeah, notice, like, there's some moire pattern on this level. Blue is the hardest thing to record when I'm recording CRT footage. And this game has a lot of blue, so I tried to put it out of focus and get rid of the moire, but I couldn't get rid of it on this level. It's just too bad. What are you doing over there?
Knitting.
What are you knitting?
A pair of fingerless gloves.
Why don't you make me something? Where's my fucking sweater?
I will put it on the list. I'm not very good at sweaters.
You know what I want?
You can be my guinea pig.
I changed my mind. I want a video game blanket like that guy has on Big Old Words.
We did talk about that. We talked about that. We're going to have to go.
Don't talk about it, be about it. Where's my video game banky?
Oh, yeah. Let me just blink.
Yeah,
blink
in my banky.
And just blink like I dream a genie. It's in your closet.
What's in my closet?
Your blanket. I just blinked.
You fucking with me now. Yeah.
But yes, we can definitely. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh well. I was asking the audience their favorite X-Men movies and their favorite games. So how many games are there?
Well, the Nintendo one doesn't count. The X-Men game on the Nintendos, I think it's LJN made it. And I mean, everybody says all the LJN games sucks. They don't all suck. Some are decent or good, but most of them kind of suck. And the one on the Nintendo is one of those. And I remember the cover art is beautiful. It's like that 1980s, 85 Lee Field X-Men cover art. That art style I love, but the game is terrible. So we're not going to count that game. Now,
so that sounds like one.
There's one. And then
I'm counting
there's Sega Genesis has the X-Men game that came out before this one, which is really good too. People don't like that one because the controls are just I don't know the word for it. They're specific to that game. The controls aren't. It doesn't control like Mega Man. It doesn't control like Metroid.
Mega Man?
It's okay. So now people say a game has shitty controls if it doesn't control like Mega Man. They want all these 2D side-scrolling games to control the same way, and they just didn't back then. So any game that had where the controls just felt stiff or different, people didn't like them. And the first X-Men, the controls are slow. There's, what do they call it? Startup frames for a lot of moves. And a lot of people just don't like that. I have no problem with that. I like games that the controls feel specific to that game or no other game feels like that. So anyways, yeah, there's that.
Two.
So there's that X-Men game. And that X-Men game's cool in that you can pick your characters much like this game. It actually plays a lot like this game. That game also has kind of a British developer vibe to it. So there's that game. Now you're at 2, and then there's this game, X-Men 2 Clone Wars for the Sega Genesis. So now we're at 3, and then there's there's 2 I know of on the Super Nintendo. There's Mutant Apocalypse, which was done by Capcom, which is an excellent game. And it's much in the same vein of this. And then there's Spider-Man and X-Men. And I don't know who did that. It has a British feel to it as well. And it does have odd controls to it. and people hate that game. I really like that game. So what are we at? 3, 4, 5. And then there's the arcade game that you see me play once in a while. That's a beat 'em up, and I always pick Storm in that game.
Vaguely. You haven't played that one in a long time.
And after that, I check out, basically.
So 6-ish. So, and they're all based on comics? Is it the game itself is based on a comic? No. Okay.
No, really, this one's the only one that I feel like it was based on an actual comic storyline of the time. Yeah, all the rest are really generic. They do throw things into it that makes it feel like a comic. For instance, in this game, there's text at the end of a lot of levels that just reads like a comic, and there's an actual story progression. And it's pretty good in this. If you want to stop and read the text at the end of the level, it's worth doing. It's, you know, there's a nice little story added to this game. And then in the arcade game, there's cutscenes with like word bubbles that pop up over the characters like a comic book, and it's okay, it's hokey. Yeah, we're picking Cyclops here. Cyclops and Wolverine are my favorite characters to play with in this game. I don't know, Psylocke, I really like playing with her. She's just not as effective. You could get through this whole game with Wolverine. You could just...
That sounds
What?
like
What?
to play with Psylocke.
Hell yeah, I like to play with Psylocke. I like to check out that booty.
It's a good thing I'm not a jealous woman.
Nah, she's not. She's very comfortable.
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna say, oh yeah, so Cyclops, after Wolverine, Cyclops is the next. If I was gonna try to play through the whole game with just one character, it'd be Wolverine and then Cyclops. I like playing with them. He's very effective. You could get through the whole game with them. I like Cyclops too. In the comics, he's kind of Wolverine's I shouldn't say alter ego, but his opposite, like his nemesis. Cyclops is this really just kind of, I don't know, he's like a typical jock, straight-laced character, you know, isn't very rude.
Well, boring in a good way. I don't want to say that as bad, because I'm like, I do like those characters.
Yeah, he's you know, he's just kind of a simple, good guy. He's the leader. Wolverine's always off on his own. And Cyclops and Wolverine in the comics get into trouble. They both like the same girl, and they get into trouble because they're so different. And Cyclops is the leader, and Wolverine always wants to run off and do his own thing. And Cyclops like, nah, bro, you gotta fucking do like shit as a team here. Like we're the XMen, not the fucking X-Man. And Wolverine's like, I'm gonna do it my way. And they get into shit, and Wolverine's like, I know how to do it better. And Cyclops is like, maybe, but I'm in charge, so fucking get with the program, dude.
But Jean Grey marries Cyclops.
Mwah.
Does she... I know her and Wolverine have a thing, but do they ever have more than a thing? Like,
I mean, he puts his tongue in her mouth, but I don't think it goes past that.
And you say, I'm Wolverine.
Well, I'm just being specific.
You could say that in a lot of different ways. That's fine. Is that before or after they get married?
I don't know.
I'm really curious.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, so the comics have gone on so long, he probably put it in her at a certain point. I mean, I think around 2005 or 10, the comics really shifted and got more adult, and then there was a point at which all the X-Men started having sex with each other.
Oh.
Like, everybody fucking has sex with... Everybody fucks Emma Frost. Everybody has sex with, like, Jean Grey. Cyclops has sex with Emma. Fucking... They just all start fucking. And that was a thing in the comics for a while. Which, it sounds like soap opera drama and stuff I normally wouldn't be into, but the writing's actually really good around that time frame, and the comics are good. It really invigorated it. So, like, in the 80s, like all the way up to like 1990, the X-Men comics were good. Chris Claremont was writing them. He's a really good writer. But they were kind of wholesome and I want to say campy, but they're not campy. They're just wholesome. There's not any cursing. People aren't putting it in each other and cheating and all that. It's kind of like they're more Star Trek-y where, you know, there's a happy ending. It's more intellectual. They have to work together as a team. There's good sci-fi stories. They're not very, you know, even kids could read them though because they're not very offensive. But they're still really good. And then in the 90s hit and these artists came in, Jim Lee, fucking Liefeld, and the artists were really good and they thought they were more important than the writers. And they wanted to do things their way and they actually muscled out Chris Claremont of the comics. And he left. And then I don't know who was writing them, but the artists were kind of dictating what the scenes and story would be like based on what they wanted to draw. And the writing got shitty. As a kid, I didn't realize it because it was cheesy and I didn't care. I was like 10 years old. But as an adult, going back, trying to read like that run of X-Men, like say X-Men number 5, the writing's not good, guys. And the comics sucked. And right around then, comics started to suck. Just the dialogue got bad. They tried to be edgy. I don't know. It just got really bad. And they didn't get better until probably around 2000s. It was Astonishing X-Men came out. And right around then, there was the Wolverine. When Wolverine Origins hits, like comics changed around 2010. And the stories were more adult. They're writing to adults rather than teenage boys. And the dialogue was a lot better. The storylines were better. It felt like they were throwing more money at it. And, wow. Yeah, but you don't want to go back and try to reread like Phalanx Covenant in 1995 comics. Just, yeah, skip it and go to the 2000s. But yeah, you'll get more sex and stuff like that in those comics too, which they can get pretty soap opera-like, drama-like. Okay, I think this character here... Oh, this guy's easy. You can beat him with anybody. Let's see. Shit, I'm like running out of stuff to talk about. I made a little note sheet. Like I got a note on here to talk about Psylocke's booty. We already talked about that. I mean, this was really another excuse for me to try to get Izzy to dress up as Psylocke. Why won't you dress up as Psylocke for me?
Because we have children.
No, we do have a kid.
We have more than just one.
Well, Gabe ain't a kid anymore. He's grown.
Exactly.
Oh, he doesn't need to be seeing that.
No, he does not. No, he does not. It's one thing for him to, you know, see it if he was younger. He wouldn't really understand what he's seeing. But I still would not feel comfortable dressing up like that in front of a child of any age. And he is still technically our child. I mean, I got him pre-made. He's not biologically mine, but he's still my kid. I still raised him for like almost 12 years. He's not seeing me like that. It's inappropriate.
You know, when you put it like that, it actually makes sense, but I'm still just butthurt that I never got Izzy to dress up as Psylocke.
We always had kids. It's not my fault.
Fuck. You guys don't, if you guys want to like just have fun with your wives, just don't have kids. Because then, I mean, you still have fun, but it's like you have fun with mom instead of Psylocke. Well, am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
You're right, only outside of the bedroom. Inside of the bedroom, I think we're still pretty good.
I don't talk about that, man. It's going on inner tubes. Nobody need to hear. Like, that's private, man. That's
intending to, but I'm just saying, like, don't make me sound like a stick in the mud.
I didn't. No, I'm making you sound like a responsible person.
I am a responsible
One of us
person.
needs to be.
Thank God, yeah. What are we gonna do? Both of us aren't Jews. Anyway. Yes, it is inappropriate, so...
Yeah, it probably...
I want you to dress up like Rocky from Rocky Horror Picture Show, but Lord knows I'm not having you do that in front of our children. So,
I would fuck it. I'd do it.
Yeah,
at this point.
Would. I know you would. That's why I'm not asking you.
Oh, there's a chick in there, the maid, I always had the hots for.
I know.
Yeah, I saw Rocky Horror. I mean, it homo, but... That Tim Curry dude's fucking hilarious in that running around and squealing and shit. That movie's funny. Oh yeah, what are we doing here?
We're talking about X-Men.
Oh yeah, X-Men.
You always had a thing for Wolverine. You dressed up as Wolverine when you were a kid?
Oh god, I have a picture of it. I'll throw it into this video. Like, yeah, I dressed up. I fucking made a Wolverine costume. Have you seen it?
Yeah, you showed me.
Yeah. Oh, you see how I one-shotted these? That guy I just killed in this game? These guys will fuck you up. They're hard to deal with any character, but a fully powered up Wolverine just one-shots them. And you see how I just ran past those guys and then pulled the camera that way? So you can use the camera to your advantage in this game. Like you can...
Only apparently on this level, because you just said in the other level that you can't.
What?
In the, like, swamp level.
Well... No, you need to use the camera in that level, but
You said you couldn't. I thought I heard you say
you have to manipulate it, but it's just slow and cumbersome and not fun on that level. It's like slow, I don't know, like manipulating the camera like I just did in that part to like move the camera past the enemies so they can't shoot you. Like that's rewarding and it's like, it's kind of snappy and fun, but on that jungle level, it's like you have to hold down and then wait and look, and it just feels cumbersome using the camera. So yeah, I mean, the camera, on the average in this game, can go fuck itself. But there are moments where it's fun to manipulate it. There are spots where you can, you can exploit it. And I mean, that's the name of the game, playing retro games. You need to break these games. You need to find out their mechanics, where you can exploit them, where you can't, the things you can and can't do. And the camera is one of the big things in this game. Well, I fucking killed that beer. Yeah, guys, I've had like quite a few at this point. We can't even do these videos till the kids go to bed. So it's like already late by the time we get around to this shiggy niggy. Let's see. What are we talking about? So we talked about the movie. We kind of talked about the movies.
Yeah. Would you like to discuss them further?
When I was in 3rd grade, I think, I heard about an X-Men movie coming out. So 3rd grade, I'm 8 years old. So this is 1990, 1991. And there used to be this magazine called Wizard, I think it was Wizard Comics or something. It was just a magazine about comics that were coming out. And I used to buy them at the store. They looked really cool. They had cool art, whatever. And there was a spread in there when I was in 3rd grade about how this movie was getting made called X-Men. And it talked about who was going to play the different X-Men. And X-Men were at like the top of the world at that point in comics. They were huge. They were really popular.
Who did they say?
Well, they said Hugh Jackman and Patrick Swayze were gonna play.
God.
We're gonna play.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman was playing Wolverine, and Patrick Stewart was playing Xavier.
If Patrick Swayze played
Well, Patrick,
oh my God.
Whatever. You know what I mean.
I love Patrick Swayze. He is amazing.
Patrick Stewart's great. He was Patrick Stewart.
My father
played Captain Kirk in Star Trek. And by Captain Kirk, I mean Captain Picard.
Oh my God, he's like your favorite character. You can't remember.
You know what? My memory's not so good. But anyways,
I can't believe they actually said all that in 3rd grade, which was like, a really long time. Like, they had Hugh Jackman picked out, which he really didn't make it at that time. He wasn't,
yeah.
a huge...
He'd been in a couple movies. He was an
Australian actor. He wasn't really making it in the U.S. at that point. He started on Broadway, actually, which was really cool. And because he can sing.
Man, you start talking about Hugh Jackman, I'm gonna get jealous. I know you like him and you think he's cute.
Oh, okay. So you can stare at Psylocke and her booty and all that, but I can't mention Hugh Jackman.
Well, when you put it like that, it makes it sound like one of us is right and one of us is wrong.
Yep. You got it.
What? No, like, it's more complex than that.
No, it's not, Complicon. Okay, you get to stare at basically a fictional character. I'm also staring at a fictional character.
He's real. I'm staring at pixelated booty. It's not the same.
So what?
All right, maybe I just need to get over this. But this was okay.
Am I ever
crux.
gonna have a chance with this man?
I don't want to contemplate. I mean,
the answer's no.
I feel like any woman with enough alcohol has a chance with any man.
That is insanity.
That's the facts of the world. I mean, welcome to planet Earth.
You're crazy. I love you, but you're crazy. He is a happily married man.
Men and women.
I absolutely adore that about him. He has got 2 kids, and he's happily married for a very long time.
Yeah, but he's got testicles, and those fuckers tell you where to go sometimes.
No.
And they don't always make the best decisions.
No.
You don't know what it's like to have swinging nuts. I mean, you were complaining about them swinging tits. Swinging nuts have their own problems, because sometimes, I mean, evil dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Moving on.
You don't want to talk about evil dick?
No.
Evil dick likes wet, warm places. Evil dick doesn't care about faces.
Just stop.
I mean, that's the hard truth of it.
I understand that.Moving on, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Okay. So, when I was in
first X-Men movie.
When I was in 3rd grade.
I remember it now.
When I was in 3rd grade, they had already cast or were putting the cast together for X-Men, but the movie didn't come out until, get your tapeworm out, look when it came out.
It was like 2000.
It was like 5 years later. I remember the first X-Men movie was talked about forever. They just kept talking about it. It's gonna get made, and it never got made. Well, I say never, but it just...
Yeah, I called it 2000.
The first X-Men movie came out in 2000? Holy shit. So they were talking about it for like 8 years, 9 years. It was in development hell. And the first X-Men movie came out, and I saw it in the theater, and it was good. It was great. And that's around when Iron Man came out. Oh, this guy right here, guys, you can just sit here and just stab him, and he can't do shit. He's just going to take it in the fucking kneecap. But usually if he can't even move, but I kind of fucked it up here, but whatever, he's going to go down.
Oh, that's it. Then they made X-Men United in 2000.
No. Look up Iron Man. When did the first Iron Man come out? But anyways, my point was the first X-Men movie took forever to come out.
That was way too... Iron Man came out in 2008. That was way after the first 3
Holy
X-Men
crap. That's the thing. Like, people talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever. It started with Iron Man. That shit came out in 2008. X-Men came out in 2000. So
2000 and every 3 years after that, and then they made like Wolverine Origins, and then they made the younger ones. I call them younger because they made it with James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, and it was like the origin of X-Men.
Yeah, so the movie buffs want to act like Iron Man was the start of the whole superhero movies. And X-Men, I think X-Men were. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, superhero movies have been coming out,
since like
forever. Like Superman with what's his name? The wheelchair dude.
No, he was Superman number 3. The first one, I want to say it was George Reeves, or maybe he was the second one, I can't remember. And then Christopher Reeves was
Christopher Reeves. Those are old as fuck. Those are from the 80s. There was also the Batman movies that came out. But most of the superhero movies, because I was always into comics, they kind of sucked. Like Punisher, the Spider-Man movies were whack. The Hulk movie was whack. The TV show was whack. Like, it was campy, and us comic fans could kind of get into it, but your average normie...
That's kind of the way they were back then, though.
Well,
look at the Batman one, you know, the Kapow, the 1960s.
Oh, the TV show?
Yeah.
That's interesting point to make, because that one was whack, but everybody still loved it. It somehow worked. Like, I watched it too. But, like, the Spider-Man ones were whack, but nobody loved them like they did the Batman. But yeah, so... Yeah, like, the movies didn't... Those feel like a different era. Those Spider-Man movies, the Incredible Hulk movies from the 80s or TV show. But when X-Men came out in 2000, that felt like it belongs in this era of 2022 X-Men. Like, it feels continuous. Yeah, and it was more realistic. You had the CGI in there. It's actually a good thing they didn't make it way back in the 90s, because they probably didn't have, excuse me, the special effect chops to pull it off.
That's why they did it. They only did it in cartoons. There was an X-Men movie, I think, in that, or not movie, maybe TV series in the 90s.
Yeah.
I remember watching it.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 of them. The first one, they only made a pilot for prior to the X-Men, and that's what the arcade game is based off of. And the art in that is great, and it was based off the Chris Claremont X-Men from the 80s. And I wish that would have got made into a TV show, but instead they chose the X-Men Adventures X-Men that we all know, that they made a bunch of episodes on, that was really good. And it was more based off the 1990s kind of Lee Field, Jim Lee X-Men. Yeah, so we're getting towards the end of the game here. And it's pretty much Wolverine from here on out.
He's your favorite?
He is my favorite. I do not mind using Wolverine in any game. Oh, we talked about X-Men games. There's also a bunch of fighting games with X-Men in them. X-Men Children of the Atom in the arcade. Then there's X-Men vs. Street Fighter. There's the Marvel games, Marvel vs. Capcom with X-Men in them.
What was the crossover between X-Men and Spider-Man?
There's a Super Nintendo game, a very odd... do I have a... So the games I beat, I used to print out copies of the games I beat, and I'd hang them on my wall like trophies, like a hunter would hang... you know, a dead fucking elk or some shit. So on my wall in my room, there's all of these covers of games printed out, or in case of arcade games, the marquee. I have a nice printer, and I'd print them out. I thought I might have printed out an X-Men and Spider-Man. I don't think I did, though. But I don't know who made it. I want to say LJN, but I don't think it is. But it's an odd game. It's got Spider-Man and the X-Men in it, and it deals the...
Kind of weird. Like, just why Spider-Man?
Well, it made sense back then, because there were all these team-ups and crossovers. And
yeah, crossovers were a thing.
Yeah, I mean, they still are. It's part of comics, and it's a cool... I mean, in a way, it's a good thing in comics, because it gets you into another character. Like, I never bought Spider-Man comics, but I buy X-Men. And then, oh shit, I kind of liked Spider-Man in this comic. I'm going to go check out his comics.
Yeah.
So that's what it was about.
They used to do that in, I would say, the early 2000s with TV shows a lot. And that was like the way they would get you introduced to a spin-off of a show. Like CSI, then they had CSI Miami, and then they had CSI something else, and then there was NCIS. And then... They just kept going, like each little kind of brand, and so it's definitely a good marketing tool.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's cool, but honestly, most of the time it sucked. Like, the best comics made weren't fucking team-up crossovers. A lot of that shit is marketing. The best comics is where someone had a story, and they stuck to it, and it's their characters, and they know how to use them, like... Chris Claremont knows how to write X-Men, and you throw Spider-Man in there, he's like, fuck, I never wrote a Spider-Man comic. Like, a lot of these writers would stick with a character for like fucking 5 years or 10 years, and they know that character, they own them and care about them, so that, you know, they know what they're going to say and do. Comics is a weird medium. It's really cool in a lot of ways. Like, you can do anything in a comic. Special effects you couldn't pull off in a movie, you can just draw on a panel, no problem. And they go on for years and years, so writers get attached to characters. And yeah, comics are weird because there's so many of them are shitty. There's so many like little kid, dumb, corny comics. And then there's like Neil Gaiman's Sandman shit that's like,
I've been thinking about him. Like,
it's like a fucking novel. It's like, it might as well, it's like like some fucking
it's
Jane
like,
Austen literature shit.
Don't compare those two. I love.
Well, I
like, please don't compare those two.
No, I
He
will.
did
It's
more-
like, it's not.
he
It's
did
it's more in
more.
the Sandman is more in the Jane Austen sphere than it is in the fucking X-Men Phalanx Covenant. It has more in line with that than it does with X-Men Phalanx Covenant.
In the way of the writing.
Just in the style, in the tone, in the quality, in the dialogue. Yeah, the tone. Like, the tone is consistent through all of
That's true.
Sandman, as it is through all of Jane Austen. The voice of the writer. Like, when you're reading Sandman, you're like listening to Neil Gaiman talk. Same thing when you're reading Jane Austen Persuasion, you're listening to Jane Austen. Like, you can feel the writer behind it. Persuasion? Yeah.
I was thinking about him, Neil Gaiman, through this whole thing, and when you said that the artists kind of came in and pushed out the writers, I thought that was kind of interesting and kind of crazy, because I'm like, how do you... I guess it survived. I mean, we still have X-Men, but I'm like, how would you survive? Like, you're nowhere without a writer. Like, they should... It's kind of, like, just amazing to me that even happened. Because I'm like, now you have terrible comics. You might have lost a lot of readers because of that. The art's great, but that means nothing if the writing isn't good and you don't have a good story, in my opinion.
Well, it does to an adult, but that was kind of the problem, and comics were trying to figure it out. Like, who are they writing towards?
And that was another thing. I think that's what I was thinking about with Neil Gaiman. I don't think until Neil Gaiman, maybe not him specifically, but around that time when Sandman came out, comics were specifically for children. They were for teenage boys or maybe younger adolescents. They were not for adults. And then around the Sandman time, it's like, then it was into like, we can start making this for adults as well.
That's a popular story, but it's just not true. The thing is, comics were always confused. They always were trying to be for adults and for kids. So you would have a string of comics like X Factor 84 to 86 by, what is it, I forget the artist, but there's like a string there where they're very adult. And then they get a new artist and writer, and the next series of 3 comics is very kid-like. And they were trying to do both, and it was always just a fucking hodgepodge mess. And the thing that Sandman is no. He's like, Neil Gaiman's said, I'm doing this shit from start to finish. I'm going to start. It's going to take me 85 comics, and when I'm done, I'm closing the book. We're not going to do episode 86. I'm telling a story. It's all going to be cohesive. It's all going to have the same tone. And he did it. And he made a story, like a cohesive adult story in the same tone. And that hadn't been done. And before that, they're just a hodgepodge. You might read one comic and it's adult, and then the next issue we got a new writer and artist, and it's for little kids. And it was just weird. And there's always been, like, you read comics from back then, and there's always like the bullpen in the back where people write into the editor, and the people writing in are all adults. The kids don't really write in, but the adults do. And there's always been adults reading these comics, and some comics were more adult than others and some were more kid than others, but I'd say in the 90s when it was most confused, and they would all have a little bit of both. Like Daredevil is an example of a Marvel comic that was definitely more adult. It was written more for adults, but there'd be exceptions, and they'd have corny shit, and you have your editor in there saying you have to include this and that and the other thing for the little kids. And you can feel it when you're reading it.
You can't have that comic for children.
And then Frank Miller did Daredevil. Anything Frank Miller is going to be more adult. So there was forces like that, but then there was also forces like the Jim Lee comics, the artists, where they were artist driven. The Image comics, when Jim Lee and Lee Field left Marvel and started their own production or whatever comic series called Image, the Spawn, the Wildcats, those were all for little kids. It was all art based, and then the story was shit. So like Izzy was talking about how you take a writer away and then the story, no one's going to stay and buy it. Well, the thing is, the kids would, and I was one of them. The kids would stick around because they don't care about the story and they don't pick up on nuance, and they're just there to see guys in blue underwear go bubbity bub bub and stab around with sniggity snick claws.
I guess that's a point, and I think that people who are writing comics should consider their demographics, and having that mixed bag is, I think, kind of ridiculous and stupid, because it's like you need to write for your audience, and if you're writing things that are for adults, you have to think about who's going to be reading them. So, well, that's my opinion, but they need to figure it out. It's like, there's just certain things that you wouldn't want certain kids reading. They might not be old enough for it, and vice versa. You don't want an adult, or as an adult, you don't want to read something that's too childlike, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's because you're a mom.
Also true.
Like, back in the 90s,
things were different back then.
Yeah, you'd be riding in the back of a truck with no seat belts, and
I did that.
Your dad was drinking a beer in the front, and
Nobody
it was
never
just...
did that. My father never did that.
Yeah, kids don't bully like they used to. It's just better back then. You got that quality bullying back in the 90s. You just don't get it. We have to go always there.
We can't go to the good old-fashioned fun, like riding in the back of a truck.
Well, I was there. I was talking about that, too.
Bikes with no helmets.
Yeah, you didn't have to wear those helmets. Now you, get a ticket for not wearing the helmets. Now, here's the Brood. I'm fighting the Brood on this level.
It's like the Horde, jeez. I'm guessing this is one of the ending levels?
Yeah, this is the last level. The Brood's a pretty cool comic. The Brood's an interesting character. They're just... what would they be like? They're insect characters that are perfect killing machines and have no conscience. They're kind of like the alien from Aliens. And now that you look at it, they look like the H.R. Geiger aliens. I'll drop down and fight this Brood here in a minute, and they're obviously borrowing from the Alien franchise. Yeah, look at that thing. That's some H.R. Geiger alien.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're perfect killing machines.
Which is kind of weird, considering there's just a scorpion. It's just an enlarged scorpion.
They,
Because those... those are great.
With the tail there.
Yeah.
It has wings.
And it
has the head. The head looks like the alien from Aliens.
Yeah, it does. But I'm like, if I was going to pick the perfect killing machine, I would not pick that. That's just, again, my personal opinion.
Yeah, this video game. But in the movie, they're like Aliens 2, I feel like the aliens in there they come across as the perfect killing machine. There's a whole bunch of them. They take over bodies and they replicate.
Wait. Are we talking the Sigourney Weaver aliens?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what these are designed after.
No, I got that part, but I don't remember they take over bodies. I just remember...
Yeah, they be chest bursting.
Oh, now I remember. Took me a second. Yeah, I was never big into the alien movies. I love sci-fi, but space is meh, whatever.
How can you say you like sci-fi but space is meh?
Because I like sci-fi fantasy.
That you like fantasy?
Yeah, and I like time travel, and I like other sci-fi concepts and weird ideas.
Alien Dick Donger books.
Oh my god. I knew you were going to bring it up at some point.
You haven't read an Alien Dick Donger book in a while.
How do you know?
Sherilyn Kenyon, is that her name?
No! She does not. Do not bespeech the name of Sherilyn Kenyon. She doesn't do Alien, those type of
Who's Sherilyn
books.
Kenyon?
She does the Dark Hunter series.
Yeah, she does Dick Donger books.
No, she doesn't. And she does the Were series. And she does my favorite, which is The League, which is about a bunch of assassins in interplanetary travel, which that is like my favorite series.
Are there alien dudes with big old dick dongers? just tell me that. Tell me there ain't. You can't do it.
There's interplanetary travel. So yes, there's aliens.
Oh, and there's aliens, there's dudes, right? Are there alien dudes?
Yes, there are.
Are they be putting it in Earth women?
Sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's other alien women.
Alien Dick Donger books, guys. So that's the thing. Comics now, they're read by people like my wife.
No.
Comics aren't read by red-blooded American boys anymore. They're read by
American
women.
Females. The minds of sluts.
Oh my god.
What? I'm not ashamed to say it.
We need to like clip that out and like fucking use it as advertising. I have a homie that actually edits comics and shit. He was explaining it to me. He's like, your shit's called, what did he call it? He's like, those are called like legacy comics or something. Where no one does it anymore. Like it's all.
Well, they're not comics. There's no pictures. It's just a novel. They're called erotica or something like that. I don't know.
No, he does comics.
Romance. No, the
they're
stuff
all
I
on
read, it's like,
phones or.
Yeah. Oh no, that's
You
that's the manga or the Manta app that I have, and that is more of like. That's more like manga in color, and it's got like a very I was gonna say very specific kind of themes, but there's not a lot of aliens in there. It's all like, we have the past, we have like the medieval, there is the modern where it's like the business romance, if you will, and then there's
not enough alien dick donger for Izzy.
I love that series.
Oh god, what's it called?
Which one?
Oh my god. Yeah, my wife reads, but I'm over here reading Jane Austen and shit.
Don't you dare.
And
she's introduced him to Jane Austen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I read them all, and she just kind of like chewed on the pages.
Yes, dude.
And went back to reading Dick Donger. What's it called?
Which one? What are we talking about?
Your favorite one. The Sherilyn Kenyon one.
The League series.
Yeah. Yeah, so the truth comes out. She's kind of embarrassed about reading them, which I get because I get embarrassed reading comics. I'm like, ooh. It's like, it's not, I mean, it ain't fine literature and shit, but it's entertainment.
It's not Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, yeah, he wrote the Meditations, I believe. That's pretty good shits, too, for you Stoics out there. Get you some Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, and feel your fucking balls swell with testosterone. That's some man
boring.
shit.
No, it's boring.
Did you read it?
Fuck, I tried to. It was kind of like,
That's knowledge getting dropped on you. You need to pick it up. Just because you don't pick it up doesn't mean it ain't good.
It's not good.
It ain't for the ladies.
Moby Dick was better, and I still could barely get through.
Okay, so when I met this woman, I found out she liked books. And I was like, well, I've read a few books. Well, at least chewed on them. Jinx. You owe me a... We're going to leave it blank. But anyways, so when I met her, I'm like, okay, so you like books, huh? Well, check this out. I'll read your favorite book. You pick out a book for me. And then I'll pick out a book for you. And she picked out a Jane Austen book. And I wasn't into feminine shit back then. I was like, this is some fucking female shit. Like, if you make me read this female shit, you're gonna read some manly book. So I picked out Moby Dick. I was like, that's some manly shit, Moby Dick. And my dudes, I fucking read that Jane Austen book. It was Persuasion. It's fucking good. but she couldn't get through Moby Dick. She wasn't. It was too much for her. She can't handle all of that. I mean, fucking Herman Melville's putting it down, but Izzy ain't picking it up.
You know what? The idea and everything that he wrote, I really enjoyed. You know, quite frankly, what he based it off of, the whaling ship he based it off of, the research he did to it, the fact that he was on a whaling ship, and the fact that he described in detail the actual events of what you do on a whaling ship, and how it's broken down, and what you do, and how you make the blubber, and all that stuff, and all the tonguing, and the whatever, and you do to get the blubber off the whale. It was great. But all of the rest of the stuff and the mammer jammer ramblings, it was just too much. I'm like, stick with the facts. I still
Facts don't care about your feelings. The fact is, I read Persuasion, and you didn't read Moby Dick ever. So after that, I went on and actually read all the Jane Austen books because she's
just to prove it to
fucking no, because she's so damn good. She's the best prose writer possibly I've ever read.
What does that say about the authors that we chose? You chose Herman Melville, which I still, like I said, have a warm soft spot in my heart for, considering all the stuff that you wrote about. And I could barely get through it, yet you got through all of my favorites.
I think it says more about men. Men are just more capable at the literary sphere. Like, okay. Women need to, you know what, just knit. Just knit, tink, pearl, make me some fucking blankets, video game blankets, and let the reading and the intellectual shit get handled by the men.
Yes,
that's right. Anyways, this is the last level here. This last level is hella cool. I like this angry little alien fucker here with his face. Yeah, and this part like gave me trouble at first, but it's like I said, all the parts in this game are predictable. So you just memorize it, it's easy. He's got like 2 patterns. Coming up here, you're gonna have to fight all of your clones in the game. So there's a Cyclops clone, a Wolverine, a Nightcrawler, a Gambit, yada yada yada. So you have to beat all of your clones. And supposedly, if you fight your clone first, and then go to the bottom left of the screen and attack it, you can break this wall. It's a secret, and you can fight the Magneto clone, which is like a secret bonus in the game. I've tried it multiple ways, guys. I've never gotten it to work. And I looked up on YouTube, and I've never seen anybody do it. I wonder if it's one of those, what do they call them? Urban legends. Remember urban legends back when we were kids and people used to make shit up and nobody could verify it on the internet?
Yeah, Bloody Mary.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, Bloody Mary's, she's the real deal." I remember you stand in the bathroom, you turn the lights out, and then you just say her name.
3 times.
Like,
kind of like
Candyman.
That was 5 times.
And that's from a movie, though.
It's dope.
But Candyman's not real, like Bloody Mary's real.
She's not.
Go fucking in there and start doing it then if you think she ain't real. That's the thing. Everybody's like, it ain't real. Well, you fucking drink some beers late at night, turn the lights out, and go in there and say that shit. You're gonna feel hella uncomfortable. You know why?
Because it's in your mind.
Well, because fucking something ain't right. Don't fuck with Bloody Marys and Candyman. Like, trust that instinct.
Well, I never
Don't
have.
get all materialistic on me.
Well, the way you said Candyman's not real, I'm like, are you implying that Bloody Mary is? I'm like,
I ain't going in there and fucking saying Bloody Mary and
no,
shit.
I'm not doing it either. That's not the point. The point is that neither one of them are real. It's
Man,
not like
I get uncomfortable saying Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
I don't say that shit. He's gonna be over here grabbing his crotch and scaring the children. I'm gonna make my millennium.
You know, the TV series.
I can't believe they made a TV series for kids based off that movie.
I know. And the TV series was what I watched. And I didn't know that there was a movie until I was a lot older. And I was like, what? And so I was kind of thrown by the idea that he was the bad guy in it.
Yeah, because in the cartoon he's
kind of like a good guy. He's Lydia's
part of the
friend.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. So I was always kind of like, I don't get it.
That was a pretty good cartoon. I remember as a kid it was funny. The art was all right. It was creative. Yeah, so on this level, guys, I picked Cyclops because he can just stand back and zone these guys out. And they all have they all have the same. The patterns they have are the same every time you fight them, and you just memorize the pattern. They're all easy. This is an easy game. I remember I beat this. It was one of the earliest games I beat when I got into beating hard games, and this game was really hard for me. I struggled with it. Back then I was playing on an LCD screen that had no game mode, on a wireless Walmart controller, on a shitty emulator. I probably had like 10 frames of lag, and everything was hard. I didn't fucking know about input lag or anything. Yeah, I beat this in Wenatchee at the first house we were at, on that big ass flat screen TV. I used to, yeah, the Franklin house. I used to stretch the image out to widescreen so it would fill the whole screen. I was a Philistine. It was terrible. Now Izzy can't even watch movies stretched out.
It's a little hard for me. The other day, I was watching a DVD that you burned for me, and it was all stretched out. It was weird, and I'm like, I didn't know how to fix it, so I just had to live with it. And I was like, whatever. I was like, because I figured it was,
I fixed it.
I was getting there, and I figured it was like, oh, it's probably, unfortunately, the recording or something. Okay, whatever. I'll just deal with it. And then he's in there. It's like, you came in to do something else, and you're like, what are you doing? And I'm like...
It offended my eyeballs.
I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix this. And so he, like, sits down and fixes it, which was great, because I love that movie. And it's...
Something, Night of the Leprechauns?
No, it's The Magical Legend of the Leprechauns.
It's a pretty good movie.
It's totally cheesy on one hand, but it's...
Oh, yeah.
It's funny on the other. It's basically like Romeo and Juliet with leprechauns and fairies, and...
It don't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, with a happy ending, which is not Romeo and Juliet. But it's really cute, and it's a long movie, because I think it was a miniseries. I think it was back in the 90s, too. Or late 90s, because it had that... I remember that was a thing. In the 90s, there was always miniseries. Like, do you remember those? It would...
Well, there's been miniseries all the time, and we still have miniseries.
Well, I don't watch TV anymore, so I guess... Yeah.
But Netflix, Netflix is all about the miniseries, Handmaid's Tale, miniseries.
No, that's a TV show. No, miniseries.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because that's like a full, like, 18 or 10 episodes, whereas like a miniseries is like 3 hours or 5 hours.
Well, it was specific. It's like 3 to 6 episodes.
Yeah, like Stephen King was a miniseries.
Yeah, not Stephen King. It's The Shining.
Well, It was a miniseries.
Yeah, the original It, and then I remember, that's The Shining. They had a couple versions of The Shining.
Fucking the original Hercules with Kevin Sorbo was.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, was that a miniseries?
No,
yeah, it was like
TV
2
movies.
episodes.
No, those were TV movies. Those
oh, fuck you. See, look, you see, guys, I'm down here trying to blow this wall up. It doesn't work. Like, I couldn't get to Magneto.
Around the World in 80 Days was a miniseries where it's like specific... Dinotopia was a miniseries where it was specifically like a 2-hour chunk of time, and it was over the course of like 3 weekends. So you could... Pride and Prejudice, the one with Colin Firth, was a miniseries.
Oh, yeah.
So they were different, but I still liked them.
What?
You speak.
There's nothing left to say. We said it all. We got...
Oh, that's not true. I refuse to believe that there are things that we haven't talked about.
The Full Lincoln. What's the Full Lincoln?
3 hours. Which, by the way, that was a great movie.
Lincoln?
Yeah, Lincoln, remember?
I never saw that shit.
Yes, you did.
I blocked it out. That
Daniel
shit was...
Day-Lewis, Tommy Lee Jones, James Spader,
I did
Sally
see it.
Field. Come on.
I remember him like going from room to room arguing with senators. I'm like, how the fuck is this entertainment? Like, this is painful. Like, this is what people get paid to do. Why am I paying to watch this shit?
I don't remember that. I thought it was a really good movie. It went really well. It did good. I did not.
Oh god!
Really
And
like
the fucking it gets all dramatic every time he says something important.
I don't remember that part, but okay. But I remembered it was, I liked it. It was a good movie. But if you're talking about like when they called it The Full Lincoln, that was another movie. And
Yeah, that movie wasn't so good.
yeah, that movie wasn't good. I don't remember what it's called. And I don't want to because it was awful.
Yeah, I'm referencing some movie that nobody fucking wants to remember.
Yeah.
There's Beast. So Beast in this game, oh man, I like Beast. And I wish I could use him. And I tried to use him. And he looks like he'd be usable. But so his mutant attack, like when you hit his mutant power button, he does this hop jump thing that looks like it'd be usable, but it just isn't. Like the hitbox on it is tiny and his hurt box is big. So you try to, he does like a dive attack similar to what Wolverine does. But the difference is when Wolverine does it, the character dies. And when Beast does it, Beast gets hit. He just doesn't work. He's a little bit slow. He can stick to walls, which is useful. But I just can't find any use for Beast in this game. I mean, I can get through the first couple levels with them because they're just so easy. But it's just super cumbersome, and he has nothing that he really brings to the table. So I just don't even use him. I've seen people use Magneto on playthroughs on certain, like, I think the Phalanx level, or these levels with the Brood, people actually use Magneto on these. And I'd like to figure it out. I tried doing it, but he's just so cumbersome to use. I think this is the last friggin' X-Men we gotta defeat here. Psylocke, the last clone. Save the best for last, my girl. Betsy. Her name's Betsy. Does she look like a Betsy?
No.
It's because she's a British psychic that was murdered and resurrected as a Japanese ninja.
Oh my goodness. Talk about a backstory.
Yeah.
Betsy.
Yeah. Pretty dumb. Pretty retarded.
I don't even understand it. Like, resurrected and
I read it and I don't understand it. So she died, and there's this group of villains, or yeah, I think it's Hydra. Or was it the Hand? I don't know. One of the X-Men villains, they resurrect people. And they resurrected her body, or they resurrected her soul, and they placed it in this Japanese girl's body who was one of their ninjas. Must have been the Hand, because they have ninjas. And they put it in there, they put her in there, and yeah, and then the X-Men like convert her back, like, oh, Betsy.
Well, why was she English? Why'd they just pick an English soul? Why not pick a Japanese soul?
Well, they picked her because she's a psychic. She's a badass X-Men.
Okay.
So they wanted, like, okay, so Elektra and Daredevil, she was resurrected too. She was a, what do you call it, a hand ninja that was resurrected. Yeah. Yeah, she's a femme fatale. What's the opposite? Like, what's a femme fatale man figure? We were watching 12 Monkeys last night, and I thought, you know, this Bruce Willis figure, he's kind of the opposite. He's like a man fatale, like instead of a femme fatale. Because, like, everything bad happens around him, and this chick's, like, attracted to him, and he's, like, you know, like a protector, sexy dude figure, but he's trouble and just fucks up her life the same way, like, a femme fatale. Yeah, femme fatale is a chick that you're attracted to and you want, but you know is bad for you and is gonna fuck up your life.
Yeah, but she usually has malicious intent. That's what I understand. Like, a femme fatale is someone who's like a con woman or something, who's trying to.
Yeah, yeah. The it's not a perfect metaphors.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, guys, fucking. That's the end of the game. You just need to shut up now, Izzy. I'm done with you.
You shut up first.
No, you're the one.
I'll put you in the closet where you belong.
Put me in the closet.
I'm done with you now.
I'm not your friggin'. You can just put in the closet.
Neither am I to you.